Hi, I'm Rebecca with Airmada Drying Solutions, and today we're talking all things kitchen and bath showroom. What are the benefits to working with the showroom? What are some of the trends in wellness? And at what stage in the process do we start talking with the showroom? So today we're going to be chatting with Pole at the Fixture Gallery in Tigurd, Oregon. So I want to talk a little bit about wellness and what some of the more popular systems or products that there are around these days that you could get in a showroom.
I think, there's a lot going on with wellness currently. I think, again, through, we know what all the 2020 and the changes that happened after all that, that people have kind of taken an in-home presence as far as their well-being and spending time at home. So I think there's a lot that delves into that. There's always been steam units. There's been steam units that you can, basically, you make any shower into a steam unit.
And this is steam here,
This
right?
is
Okay,
steam
perfect.
here,
Yep.
accompanied by the amazing Airmada system that'll actually dry your shower out, which helps from mold and even helps with some of the glass as far as keeping water spots and things, but mainly helps with the mold and keeping your shower dry after you've utilized the steam unit. Steam units are neat because they also have a lot of features that are getting added to them. There are aromatherapy systems now going into them for as far as awakening and sleeping and restful and all of that. They've got music where speakers are added. You've got Bluetooth technology where you can sit in there and watch your favorite show and spend time. There's a lot of relaxing moments that take place inside a steam shower. There's chromiotherapy lighting that can go along with your steam shower, and as well as bathtubs that have incorporated it now as well. Another big system is going to be like the cold plunge units. Hydro Systems is a big one that actually will allow the cold plunge into any of their basic spa tubs, as well as they have an outdoor version as well. I use this actually daily when I come in and it's filled. I have horrible arthritis in my hands, and I come in every morning and put my hands in here for about 15 seconds, and it actually rejuvenates and makes my hands feel amazing. If it wasn't embarrassing, I'd probably climb into the whole thing because it breaks up, but it's a little too much for everyone in the showroom. But so my hands are what get it for now, but it works amazing. People incorporating the washlet toilets.
Oh, perfect. Let's check that out.
Into the systems as well. There's several brands. Everybody's making them now. But they're amazing units that basically you can take any toilet and put a washlet on it depending on your budget. There's all sorts of versions of it. Most of them do incorporate a heated seat that you can turn off or on, as well as it has the wand that comes out and will wash front and rear. As far as the society goes, we're kind of approaching that and realizing we're putting these in probably 90% of homes at this point, if it's not the master, usually the master, but there are people that are putting them in the secondary bathrooms and powder rooms as well. Um, but yeah, I think that that's a neat little thing as far as like mobility. And, I have people that have hurt themselves and broken their arms and come in and gotten washlet seats last minute to put on there because, it takes something that can be very humbling, having to have somebody come in, assist you, being able to actually do your own thing by a pushing of a button as opposed to, and that's, elderly or again, even just injuring yourself at any age, something that can.
And that's a great point. We did a previous video on universal design and the concept of thinking about these things before you actually need them, right? So if someone were to come in, be doing a new build or a renovation, I love that you bring up these concepts that they might not think about if they're shopping online, that, hey, you know, I could break my leg, I could, have an injury. And it's not just aging that's going to lead me to want these things or the wellness of steam. It's just general thinking about the future for all abilities, and having the benefits of all these wellness products. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think there's like with washlet seats, one of the biggest thing when they come in and people aren't sure, my biggest thing to them is tell your builder the only thing you need is add an electrical outlet. Easy to do, remodel or new build, add an outlet by the toilets because that's all you need to add a washlet to any toilet, whether you want to add it to your existing toilet or buy a new toilet with the washlet on it. And so that's a huge thing as far as just adapting that allows for you to be able to think down the road and not have to decide right then and there, but you can easily add it at that point.
That's super smart. It kind of reminds me of the concept of preparing the walls for grab bars,
Absolutely.
right?
That
And
would have been
so,
another one.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
that's another thing where it's like this forward thinking can not only just financially help us down the road, but it's also, it might help us sooner rather than later. So
And
I
just
think
like you
that's
said with the grab bars, I mean, it's all ages. That I think the thing, right, misconception is we think of those old stainless steel. We've all been
mm-hmm.
to, whether it's our grandma's elderly home or in the hospital, kind of what it looks like, and that's what we interpret for that stuff. They actually make attractive, beautiful items now, even in the grab bars. So you're able to be a 35-year-old and put a little grab bar in your shower so you don't slip and have something to hold on to for future. It's just a smart way to think. Not It does not mean you're by any means pushing your age or trying to age yourself.
Right.
It's just a smart way design, even for resale. You never know if
Yes.
you're going to
Yeah.
sell it to somebody's grandparents. I mean, it's just so many things like that it's just extra kind of to do, and smart to do at the time.
So as far as if someone wants to work with a showroom, is there a specific stage in the new build process or in the renovation process where they should come in?
I think the sooner the better, just to even get initial ideas down. I think that it's hard because builders, of course, especially with new construction, they're like, you need to go in and pick out your stuff because rough-in valves are one of the first thing done as soon as framing goes up. And it's hard because homeowners at that point typically haven't even thought of a design aspect. So getting them in here, there's a lot of smart manufacturers right now that are coming out with universal valves and things like that. So even if I can get them in here and show them, if they've got to commit and get those rough-in valves, but they haven't picked out their tile, if they can find a manufacturer that maybe makes a few designs and finishes that they like, they're able to focus on that. We're able to go ahead and put the valves in behind the wall, and then they can pick out design a little bit later on in the process. I think that's the dream idea because then they're able to kind of really get the custom showers and things that they want ahead of time, and even towel warmers, things like that that require added maybe electrical things. So I think kind of getting them in early at concept, and even with remodel, kind of the same idea. I always try to not pressure people because you don't want them to feel forced into something, but allowing them to kind of come in, see the process. There's sometimes they know right out of the gate what they're getting, even if it's picking a style of faucet and narrowing that down. Finish, again, it usually comes in a few different finishes. So if they can kind of realize, this is the style I like, but my finishes are open. We don't need to order any of that till about, honestly, the finished trim, the faucets and all of that go on almost at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the job of your 1 year build or 2 year build, whatever it is. So it's hard to order at the
Right.
beginning stages, but I think that that is the right idea if possible. We can really make it work at any stage, and I think that's the biggest thing is kind of when you come in as far as information needed. If you're coming in, the biggest thing is knowing your timeline, having an
Mm-hmm.
idea of when you're going to need that next phase of plumbing, whatever it is, and then that way at least we can narrow in if you're, usually it's the remodel that they're like, oh, they squeezed me in. They weren't going to get for me for 3 months, but they said they could start tomorrow. So we've got limited lines at that point to show them. We don't have the luxury of kind of looking at everything unless they really want to kind of possibly push the project out, because there are some lines, there's some lead times that do take a little bit longer than others. So I think initially we want everybody in here to experience it as often as possible. Come in, make those initial selections, come in, 6 months later, revisit, and then that's usually when we'll actually pull the trigger on ordering the finished stuff. So yeah, I think there's just we'll make anything work, but
Yeah.
ideally it's at the beginning phases.
Yeah. And that makes sense. And I love the concept that, you don't have to know exactly what you want at the end point, or that there's different, stepping stones as we
Yes.
get to that point, and that the design can change, obviously, and they're, so they don't have to like know the end result immediately, but also the fact that you help keep them organized in the whole process of, okay, here's your timeline. So we need to do this, 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 and this based on the timeline you gave me. And so that like almost management step is such a benefit to working with the showroom.
I've been doing this for aging myself almost 30 years. And I think I was telling somebody the other day, when I was younger, it was always like, let's get in, and each bathroom needs to be different, and we need to have personality. And this is your daughter's bathroom, so let's make it delicate. And your son's bathroom, let's make it masculine, and all of that. And what I've come to realize is that plumbing isn't necessarily it's the jewelry, as we've always said. So having, sometimes it's nice to have that consistency, because honest to goodness, in the past 30 years, the amount of cool tiles that are out now, and paint colors that they've embraced in bathrooms and kitchens and everywhere, in design, have taken lighting, mirrors, all of that. So sometimes it's nice to have a cohesiveness. I've realized that people just kind of letting the plumbing roll and kind of stick together throughout, and allowing that to kind of be the bridge between the different rooms, and so they can have that fun. And so I think there's getting people in, and kind of what they thought they may have wanted, getting them to think a few different ways as they're going through the process, I think really helps as well.
I love that creative concept of, hey, we're a showroom, we're aware of the new products and designs, we keep up on it, we go to these, kitchen and bath shows, where if you're online, you might not be aware of these new products. But I think it's a really important part of the process. So thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure.